Most people live only half a life. They show the parts that win approval and hide the parts that make them nervous. They smile, they play the role, they polish the mask, but under the mask, the shadow waits, and the more you deny it, the more power it gains. You see it when anger bursts out in small moments, or when you find yourself jealous of someone else's success. You see it in the people who irritate you most because they are reflecting something you can't admit in yourself. The shadow is always whispering, "Look here, this is you, too." But instead of listening, we run. We try to be good, pure, perfect. We imagine the goal of life is to become all light. But light without shadow does not exist. They are two sides of the same coin. And so long as you try to cut yourself in half, you will always feel incomplete. The shadow is not here to ruin you. It is here to balance you, to show you what you have left behind. If you face it honestly, you'll find something surprising. The shadow is not only your darkness, it is also your hidden strength. Think of anger. Most people think it's bad, but anger, when seen clearly, shows what you deeply care about. It is passion misdirected. Or think of envy. It feels ugly, but it tells you what you secretly long for, the dream you told yourself you could never have. Even fear has a message. It shows where your edge is, the place you are meant to grow. These feelings, if ignored, will control you, but if understood, they guide you. Your purpose is not separate from them. It grows out of them. The wound is where the gift begins. This is why so many great teachers, artists, and healers find their calling in their struggles. The poet turns heartbreak into words. The healer turns pain into compassion. The leader turns failure into wisdom. Their light was born in their shadow, and so is yours. The parts of yourself you have hidden may be the very soil where your true life waits to grow. To face the shadow is not to destroy it. It is to accept it, to listen to it, and to weave it into your wholeness. For only then can you discover the life you are meant to live. You may wonder, how do I actually face this shadow? Most people imagine it as wrestling with some inner demon. But it is not about fighting. It is about noticing. The next time you feel jealous, instead of saying, "This is bad, I shouldn't feel it," pause and ask, "What does this reveal about me? What is this feeling trying to tell me?" In this way, you begin to treat your shadow not as an enemy, but as a messenger. And the moment you do this, the shadow begins to lose its grip over you. Remember, what you resist persists. What you run from, you carry. But what you accept begins to transform. Think of it like holding a beach ball underwater. The harder you push, the stronger it fights to rise. That is what happens with the shadow. You try to bury it, but it comes back with greater force. Yet if you simply let it float, it finds its balance on the surface. The same is true of your hidden feelings. When you allow them, you no longer waste your energy suppressing them. You free that energy for living, for creating, for loving. And here is the deeper secret. Your purpose is not something handed down from the sky. It is something that emerges when you live as a whole being. If you only live from your good side, your polite side, you are not whole. You are only half alive. But when you allow the dark with the light, when you say yes to the full spectrum of who you are, then your purpose begins to take shape. It comes not from effort or searching, but from alignment. The shadow, once faced, shows you what truly matters to you. You see, the shadow is honest, brutally honest. It does not care about appearances, about manners, about what people think. It shows you your raw edges, and within those edges lies truth. For example, a person who hides their anger may discover once they face it, that they are meant to speak up for others, to fight for justice. A person who hides their envy may discover that it points to a passion they abandoned long ago. Even fear, when embraced, becomes courage in disguise. Your purpose lives in the places you least want to look. So ask yourself, gently, what part of me have I been hiding? What trait do I judge harshly in myself or in others? What dream have I pushed away because it seemed too much, too risky? Write these down, sit with them, not to condemn them, not to indulge them, but simply to acknowledge them. You will see that each shadow carries a thread, and if you follow the thread, it leads to a deeper understanding of who you are and what you are here to do. Facing the shadow is frightening, yes, but it is also liberating. Now let us consider how this affects your relationships. Have you noticed how the same conflicts appear again and again with different people? Perhaps you always clash with authority, or maybe you always find yourself drawn to the same kind of partner. These are not accidents, they are the shadow at work. Relationships act as mirrors, reflecting back the parts of yourself you have yet to face. The person who irritates you most is showing you something about yourself. Instead of only blaming them, ask, what is this revealing about me? In this way, every conflict becomes an opportunity. And when you begin to see your shadow in others, compassion grows. You realize that they, too, are struggling with hidden fears and desires. They, too, are projecting what they cannot face. And suddenly, instead of resenting, you begin to understand. This does not mean excusing harm, but it does mean recognizing our shared humanity. Everyone carries a shadow, and when you embrace your own, you no longer need to pretend you are above others. You meet them as equals. And in that meeting, true connection becomes possible. This is why wholeness is far more powerful than perfection. Perfection is brittle, fragile. It breaks the moment life shows its rough edges. Wholeness, on the other hand, is strong because it already includes the rough edges. When you embrace your shadow, you are no longer afraid of being exposed. You have nothing to hide, and so you live with more freedom, more authenticity. And from this authenticity, purpose shines naturally. You are not trying to be something. You are simply being yourself fully. And that is where meaning is found. Think of the artist who finally paints with all the colors, not just the safe ones. Their work gains depth. Think of the musician who allows sorrow as well as joy into their songs. The music becomes powerful. Think of the teacher who shares their own struggles as well as their wisdom. Their words carry weight. The same is true for you. When you embrace your shadow, your life gains depth. You are no longer flat, one-dimensional. You are real. And in being real, you discover what only you can bring to the world. But some will ask, isn't it dangerous to embrace the shadow? What if it leads me astray? The answer is this: ignoring it is far more dangerous. When you repress the shadow, it controls you unconsciously. That is when it causes real harm. But when you face it consciously, with awareness, it becomes energy you can use. It becomes part of your wholeness. To be whole is not to indulge every impulse, but to recognize them, to understand them, and to guide them wisely. The shadow, once integrated, becomes your ally. It gives you power without corruption. And here is where the deepest purpose begins to reveal itself. Your wounds are not mistakes. They are the raw material of your gift. The very thing you thought disqualified you may be the thing that qualifies you most. A person who has felt loneliness may be called to create community. A person who has known fear may be called to bring courage to others. A person who has faced failure may be called to teach resilience. The shadow holds not only your pain, but also the seed of your contribution. Your purpose is born from both, so do not be surprised if your path feels like a descent before it feels like a rise. The hero must enter the cave before they find the treasure. You too must face the shadow before you discover your calling. And when you do, you realize that purpose was never about escaping the dark. It was about bringing the dark into the light. This is the dance of life. Night and day, joy and sorrow, light and shadow. To embrace both is to awaken. To awaken is to live with depth. And in depth, purpose arises naturally. Look at the areas where you feel the strongest emotion. Look at your anger, your envy, your shame. These are not random. They are signals. They are the places where your shadow is knocking, saying, pay attention. If you follow those signals, you will discover more about yourself than you ever could through polite self-improvement. For the shadow shows you where you are hiding. And where you are hiding is where your life's purpose is waiting. What you run from is often what you are here to give. And this is not only personal, it is collective. For when you face your shadow, you stop projecting it onto others. You stop adding your hidden fear to the world's chaos. Instead, you bring clarity. You bring compassion. Imagine a world where people no longer fought their shadows through each other, but faced them within themselves. Wars would lessen. Hatred would soften. Understanding would deepen. This is why facing your shadow is not selfish. It is service. The more whole you become, the more whole the world becomes. So do not think of this as self-improvement. Think of it as self-integration. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be whole. And wholeness requires every part of you, the light and the dark, the joy and the sorrow, the strengths and the flaws. When you allow it all, you discover a freedom unlike anything else. You no longer have to prove yourself, hide yourself, or run from yourself. You can simply live. And in that living, you naturally express your purpose. It flows out of you because it is you. The shadow, then, is not a burden. It is a gift. It is the part of you that demands honesty. And honesty is the root of authenticity. Authenticity is the root of purpose. Think of it this way. If you never faced your shadow, you would live someone else's life, chasing borrowed dreams, pleasing the crowd. But when you face it, you reclaim your true path. And that path, though it may not look grand in the world's eyes, is the only one that will ever satisfy you. Because it is yours, entirely yours. So I ask you, what are you running from? What do you criticize most in others? What do you bury in yourself? These are not signs of your failure. They are the doorway to your future. If you turn and walk through them, you will find energy you did not know you had. You will find gifts you had long forgotten. You will find the very purpose you thought you were missing. Life has hidden it in the place you least wanted to look. That is the divine joke. That is the paradox. And when you finally embrace your shadow, you will notice something extraordinary. You stop being divided. You feel a sense of peace you could never find by pretending. You feel a strength that comes from knowing, I am all of this, and I am enough. And from this place, action becomes effortless. Relationships become more honest. Work becomes more meaningful. Even rest feels more complete. For you are no longer split in two. You are whole. And wholeness is the only foundation from which true purpose can arise. So let us not make the shadow an enemy. Let us welcome it as a friend, a teacher, a guide. It will not flatter you. It will not comfort you, but it will show you the truth. And truth, though sometimes uncomfortable, is liberating. To face your shadow is to discover yourself. To integrate your shadow is to live your purpose. And to live your purpose is to finally participate in life fully, deeply, authentically.